What you're saying is no one has been released from non-disclosure agreements.
To my knowledge, Mr. Julian, no one has been released.
Well, I mean, this is a rhetorical question. Why? When we've had this issue out for months.
Hockey Canada is unable to say why it's not dropped non-disclosure agreements for alleged sex assault survivors that it's paid legal settlements to. The sporting body was more humble in its fourth appearance before the House of Commons Heritage Committee in the wake of sex assault allegations involving members of the 2018 World Junior Hockey team. But MPs still had existential questions about the sporting organization that remained unanswered.
My concern is, however, is that this is actually the third independence governance review since 2014. So in 8 years, this is the third one that has been required because adequate action hasn't been taken. The culture of secrecy and cover-up has been perpetuated for 8 years, despite these 3 independent reviews. So I'm curious, why should the Canadian public trust you now?
I can't speak to the previous governance reviews. I can only speak to, how I operate and how our staff operates and our members operate. And at the end of the day, it's all about delivery and execution.
Hockey Canada released the Cromwell Report this month, a 221-page independent governance review. But some MPs expressed frustration at its scope. Justice Thomas Cromwell's review only covered 5 questions, none of which asked if Canadian hockey has a sex assault problem or a culture of secrecy. MPs were also surprised to learn that Hockey Canada approved at least some settlements in closed-door meetings that had no paper trail.
I wish we could change that we didn't go in camera. We did, and we didn't have it minuted. And I think that's a big part of what Justin Cromwell was alluding to.
Hockey Canada was able to say how much money it's paid to crisis communications firm Navigator, $1.6 million, part of $6 million spent on similar firms this year. But Hockey Canada says that money is an investment into a strategy for its future, not just communications. There was also disagreement over how transparent Hockey Canada was regarding payments made to survivors of alleged sex assaults. Former CEO Bob Nicholson says he felt Hockey Canada had been forthright during his tenure, but conceded this was only to member organizations.
One of the things that you had hoped was that people understood what you were doing, yet there was no line items for several of these funds in your financials. How would they have known about it if there's no line item for some of these funds?
We used to have what we called financial forums that we had the branch presidents as well as their people that were involved in their day-to-day operations of the finance as well as risk management. I'm assuming that all that detail happened at that time. I can't tell you. I didn't sit in all of those meetings.
In Ottawa, Shally Lee, City News.